Okay. Uh, it's 7:30 and we are live as well on Facebook and the meeting is streaming as well. So let me just share my screen for this last session of 2020, the fourth of season 2, and the last of 2020. This was one of my easiest presentations. I actually didn't need much to write about it or say make slides for it. So I didn't need much of the slides to be made. I just noted down the points on the paper that I had in my mind in the past, say, 2 hours. Just noted on the paper in between my patients and just incorporated on the Dr. Raghu, please mute yourself. So I noted on the paper and then it was easy. So that is why I wrote in the message as well. You just need to pay attention. There will not be much on the slides except the points, and that points I'll be explaining much. Whatever comes in my mind, whatever I remember out of those things. So I hope the screen is visible and I'm audible as well. So kindly just drop in a message in the chat box for the same audio and video clear. Then I'll move ahead. Great. Thank you, Dr. Jamil. Thank you, Dr. Prayan. Okay. Uh, so friends, this is basics part 6 of finance. I have been taking these lectures since August 5 this year for my WhatsApp groups. Otherwise, I've taken so many in the lockdown, starting from as early as I was the first one to take on World Dental Association on 25th of March, when the webinars were not in the vogue as well at that time. The beautiful part about these basics is that none of them is interrelated and none of them is in sequence. Even if you watch any point, you can watch 1, 3, 5, or maybe 2, 4, 1 again in that sequence. So it does not make any difference. These are the basics, but not interdependent upon a sequence that you have to follow. So even if you have not watched the first 5 parts, you can still watch the sixth part. And for the rest 5 parts, the all of those are on YouTube. Maybe you will find a little bit difficulty in finding them with name, but then those corrections will be done by me in the coming year, in the first week or second week itself of January 2021, because some of them have been named as WhatsApp group session, paid group session, or free group session. So they'll be titled accordingly. So once I do that, I'll notify in the free groups, so that it is easier for you to determine that. So friends, welcome to today's session, Tuesday 29 December, basics part 6. So let's start. And as usual, all my presentations will always begin with thanking the Lord Almighty, who's given me much more than what I deserve. And when it comes to finance, I have to thank my dad as well. All my presentations have has the third slide of my dad always. So it was a rainy day, 30th June, a Sunday. I was lecturing in Vapi Valsad, IDA Vapi Valsad branch in the Vapi town. Uh, just after the lecture, I got a message from my brother that my dad had passed away. He was not keeping well. He was hospitalized in May 2019. But once he was discharged, he was doing reasonably okay, if not very well. But then that night was difficult. Vapi that day had 184 of rain, and it was really difficult for me to even get back from my flight was from Surat. The flight was cancelled. The SpiceJet flight had overshot the runway. But then those things happen. Certain things helped, and luckily I could just make in time to my town by 2:30 on Monday, 2:30 p.m. on Monday, to be with my father for his last rites. Being the elder son, it was my responsibility to be there. But then, whatever I am teaching in basic finance, it is courtesy my dad only to all of you. Yes, my MBA finance is there to help. Uh, my MBA finance from IGNOU is there to help as well. But whatever clinical finance I'm teaching, especially the banking part, the basic banking, and the advanced banking, that is all courtesy my dad as well. So this is basics part 6, session number 20 of 2020. So it had to be 20 sessions, coinciding with the year. So I made my best effort. Otherwise, it would have been just 2 sessions. So I made the effort to make it four for this season. So why I say always the basics? Why I am very say fascinated with basics part, because that is the basic thing which is lacking. We all want to learn the advanced version. We never think about the part that yes, there are many more things in life other than the basics, other than the advanced thing, and those they start from the basics. Unless you understand the basics, and for finance, I always say there are four kinds of basic. The basic financing terminology, what we do in clinical finance or otherwise we know. Then the banking basics, which are actually very, say, not very much known. You'll know many of the things as we progress, but there'll be many, many things which you won't be knowing as we progress in the session. So you can keep noting down your points at various slides you want to ask the questions for. So you feel free to ask anything at the end what I'm discussing in the slides. Obviously, there won't be nice to get interruptions in between. So I muted all of you. So you can keep noting down the questions as per any individual slides, because there will be many questions if you are paying attention and not doing patient side by side. Again, it is a personal choice. I don't say anything about that. And the third basics is always the taxation basics, Indian taxation system. Then comes the fourth, investment basics. And again, that is divided into four parts: the stock market, the mutual funds, the government instruments of investment, and the miscellaneous like commodity, gold, silver, whatever you can think of. So just the broad headings. Again, there can be further segregations as well, but this is my fundamental. The most important thing, we are always interested in 4A and 4B. We never even bothered about any other thing. We don't know that for reaching the four, you have to go through one, two, three. So any step ladder will always require that as well. So what I'm going to tell you today is the second part, the second point. I've taken a lot of things from this taxation. I've taken the maximum. Basic finance, I've taken maximum. uh, Good amount on mutual funds as well. Nothing on stock market as yet, except for a few things on government instruments, a few things on miscellaneous investments. But today I'll be discussing only the second point, the banking basics. And I won't be wrong if I say that many of us don't know proper banking. We just know bank as a financial institution which keeps our money, nothing beyond that. Trust me, the this is one basics I always tell my participants to know even before the taxation part. Whenever I'm doing a 2-day workshop, it is not difficult to say entertain this topic in there. But this is one topic I can say that I am a big master of. I have been through the banking system of most of the banks in one way or the other, and I know how they work, how the system works, and what are the facilities available over there. So this is very important because we actually don't know how to take advantage of the banking part. We actually, as I said, we just know we just need to keep money and withdraw money. Yes, there are many other facilities. We know that bank does an NEFT, bank gives us an ATM, bank gives us a checkbook, but there are far, 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 far too many things. I'll try to cover a few in today. Of course, it is not possible to cover everything in this 45 to 60-minute lecture, but yes, I'll try to cover many of the things possible. So let's start. So what people know is that बैंक के accounts दो तरह के होते हैं, savings account, current account. Obviously, for others, there are OD accounts, there are different types. Let's not go into the details of those. But if you just segregate these savings or current even, there are further segregations as well. There is a kids account available with bank. There is a no frill account or a student account. There is a female account. There is a senior citizen account. So there are different types, different banks, different balance requirements. What are they? Let me just explain you point by point once. A kids bank account will usually, again, will be opened under the either of the guardian. Either of the guardian mean either the mom or the dad. Or if both of them are not there, God forbid, then the court appointed legal guardian. Usually the grandfather or the grandmother cannot open on the behalf of that. Even that holds true for PPF accounts as well. So most of the kids account, they are usually in some banks like ICICI, they're linked with the main account. So if your main account is having a balance, the kids account will not be needing a balance in some bank. But for on an average, any kids bank account will have a maximum balance requirement of 2,500. In nationalized bank, I'm talking of the private banks. In nationalized bank, this limit may be 500 or 1,000 only. So In many nationalized bank also, there will not be certain features like this. This is a feature, or say kids account for a student, female, senior citizen. This is a feature usually with the private banks, because what I call them as a differentiator in practice management. This is a differentiator. The national bank won't have such segregation. So let's talk about private banking in this, because I'm very much fan of private banks. I believe the service is better, and I have no fear regarding their safety. Let's put those things straight first. So a student account again can be a zero balance. Sometimes it will be based on upon the banking. Many banks do offer it. Then there are separate for the underprivileged as well, like Jan Dhan bank account or a basic BSBDC as they call, basic savings, basic account for the underprivileged. Then a few banks have a say female bank account, like IDBI has, like Yes Bank has. IDBI has a name Mahila Mitra account. Uh, yes, I don't remember the name, but even a Yes Bank will have. But these banks actually, what is the advantage? Sometimes the females will have an advantage over a locker. What the locker where you can keep your valuables, like your registry papers of the house, your valuables, your gold, your cash, whatever you wish to. Female accounts usually have an advantage. They get certain benefits on that. There is usually no balance difference from the main account, from the male account or the main account, whatever you can say. So balance requirement might be the same. On an average, for a normal savings account, for most of the banks, the savings requirement a balance is 10,000 rupees. For banks like IDBI, it is around about 5,000 as well. But for most of the private banks, minimum balance required is 10,000. And below that, there are charges for incurred for not maintaining the minimum balance. And this is usually AQB, average quarterly balance. So 1 month you can have 30,000. The next 2 months, even if you have zero, the total average will come out to 10,000 per day. Of course, the 30 and 31 days will come into account sometimes. If there are, if the balance kept 30,000 was on 30th of maybe 30 days of June, just a minute, please. Sorry, had a visitor. So then they will actually offer you various facilities over the female accounts. I forgot where I was actually. Somebody can tell me what I was speaking. It was something important. What were the last words I spoke when the visitor came? Somebody can drop in the message, please. AQB. Yes, thank you. So AQB is, let's suppose if you keep a 30,000 amount for 30 days in June, 30,000, exactly 30,000. Uh, the next quarter begins July, August. Let's suppose these are the three. Otherwise, the quarter is from April, May, June. So this will make a difference sometimes. Let's suppose these 3 months are in continuation. For just to give you an example, so July will have 31, August will have 31. Then those 2 days will become more than the average quarterly balance. So you need to maintain those accounts. Obviously, don't do that to just check it out the average quarterly balance. But what I mean to explain to you is that this is not a per day balance. Easy time pay at one point of time. The savings balance was taken off after 10th. After 10th means you can deposit or withdraw for the first 10 days. So whatever the balance was there in the saving bank on the 10th, or the lowest balance after that, that was taken into account as the average monthly balance. Now that thing has been done away with. Presently, we have a ADB, average daily balance. So the monthly figure is computed by the computers itself. So whatever you can keep 30,000 one day, the 60,000 one another day. So the average will come out to roughly 45,000 for those 2 days. So this is the way the banking system works. So remember this thing. This thing will always be very important when you maintain your balance. So balance maintenance in non-man balance maintenance incurs charges. So understand the requirements, understand your account. And for senior citizens as well, usually banks like IDBI, banks like PS, or banks like even Axis will provide you 50,000 on minimum balance. 50% on minimum balance, I mean to say. So if the average requirement is 10,000 for senior citizen and for female, sometimes it might be 5,000 rupees. Or for kids also, it will be 2,500 rupees. So depending on that. So whenever you open an account, remember you can take advantage of certain kinds of accounts, even if it is a minor. For the minor, usually they offer you that. IDBI, the senior citizen account, is known as a Jubilee account. So there are different names in different banks. Some banks don't offer this facility, but some do. So take advantage of banking wherever you do if you have different banks. And trust me, there are if there are separate accounts, they will offer you certain benefits other than the main account. So then it comes to how many holders you can keep in an account. For a normal bank, nationalized or private, you can keep up to 4 holders. Some allow even 5 holders. But you need to remember that a banking form will usually have two space for 2 holders. Some bank forms have space for 3 holders. So if they need a fourth holder along with, they'll need to get a form signed separately, which is one of them is the say customer ID form, and then the other one is the normal KYC form, and the account will open itself. Make sure the details are filled in front of you. Make sure you definitely give the mandate for mobile banking, electronic details like the email, and then whether you want to receive the SMS or not, depending upon whether the SMS is chargeable or not, whatever you wish to, it is your personal choice. Then, what is the mode of operation? For a joint account, the mode of operation will always be either you can do single operation, means the first holder operation, or joint holder operation, and the most commonly one followed is E by S, either or survivor. Either or survivor. When the holders become 3 or 4, this E by S does not exist because it cannot be either. Either it is for 2 people. So A by S stands for anyone or survivor. For 3 or 4 people, it will be A by S. So always mention the mandate or the mode of operation you want to keep. Some people want to operate it jointly. That means no one holder can withdraw without the consent or without the signature of the other 2 holders on the checkbook. So remember this thing. Whatever the number of holders, one, two, three, four, five, usually not beyond 5. In the IT language, the funds belong to the first holder. Remember this thing. The liability is of the first holder. You can have, say, one account with your first name and the rest of the account with your wife, mother, father, uh, or whatever members of your family. Uh, you can have n number of accounts as a second holder. In banking language, your liability is on the bank account where you are the first holder. In those accounts where you are the joint holder as a security purpose or as a safety purpose, always better to open joint accounts usually. The liability will be of the first holder. Liability means the interest part and the taxation part on the same. So remember that. Then there is a privileged banking offered by usually private banks. National Bank don't offer it. Usually they are least bothered about such things. So that is where the private banks hold a edge most of the times. And I told you I'm a big fan of them. So banks will offer you, some banks like IndusInd will offer you privileged banking even up to the maintenance of 1 lakh. Some banks like HDFC up to 3 lakh, it was there, now it is 5 lakhs. If you maintain an AQB of 5 lakh, they'll automatically upgrade to a privileged banking, where you again have some facilities like a locker discount, like free demand draft for N number, or number of branch transactions increase, number of ATM withdrawals increase. Privileged will have some differences from the other ones. Then there comes a term known as a family banking or a grouping. A family banking terminology is used in many banks. Usually, again, a private bank thinks the John. In this, you can say group all your accounts under one head, known as family banking. Means, let's suppose you have your own clinic account, your wife has an account, your brother has an account, your kids have account, your parents have account. You can group all of them together. Usually, there are different say versions available. For example, in RBL Bank, there is Esperia. Uh, I don't remember the name. There are different versions available. In that, the AQB is, let's suppose, a figure of 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs. Then the second level is uh, 20 lakhs and 30 lakhs. What does it mean? That one of those five, six, seven, what usually the minimum banks required to be grouped in a family banking is four or five, depending upon the bank. But usual four or five is the number. So there you can actually group more these accounts. One of the account can have the balance of, let's suppose, 10 lakh. Suppose it is the first level Expedia, or different names given to the different say banking. It is again a kind of a privileged banking, but in a group format. So one account can have 10 lakh balance as AQB, and the rest of the bank's accounts, which are grouped under that, can all have zero balance as well. So this is the advantage of family banking. Then in family banking, you get the advantage if the bank is charging something for SMS, they usually don't charge for SMS. They usually give you DDs free also. Then they give you again other features like say NEFT is sometime, or RTGS transactions, some amount is free, varies from bank to bank. So if you have multiple banks, if the bank is close to you, if you like the service, it is a private bank, go in for a family bank. Always better to shift your banks to bank accounts of the same family to one bank, so that you are banking with one. Because otherwise you're going to one bank, then second bank, then third bank for different family members. It creates a ruckus. Unless you have money to dispense, you can do that. But then this is the advantage. Grouping will always make sure that even if the average balance of one account is maintained, the rest can go zero balance. Number one. Then each bank will have a different terminology. Some use the CIF, some use the customer ID, some use the CRN, customer relationship number. So they all mean one and the same thing. That is a unique number which is allotted to you, like your UID or like your PAN number. It is a bank. Uh, it is a say ID which bank allots you, so that you can be identified pan India. Earlier, there used to be people used to create a hue and cry. So credit to Modi government for this in 2015-16. Mr. Jaitley made sure that those things are grouped, and those banks actually deleted, deduplicated the customer IDs, so that which were existing. And even if you have a customer ID in Ludhiana, you can go and open your bank account in Mumbai with the same customer ID. The systems are linked. You might need to get a re KYC sometimes, depending on the Sunky bank employee or not. But they are usually Sunky some of the times. Remember why I call them Sunky? Because the bank who started Go Green was number one, ICICI Bank. And go to ICICI Bank for getting anything done, any service request, even a statement, they'll ask you for ID proof, and they will attach that service request form and then staple it and then keep it in the record. I asked them many times, आपको शर्म नहीं आती है? Go green कहते हो और इतने कागज इकट्ठे करते हो. And the same applies to the second bank in this line was Yes Bank. उनका भी यही हाल है. They need ID proof every time. It is a personal choice then. So different bank, different branches, now all are clubbed. All of the system has been deduplicated. Deduplicated means if you were smart enough, you opened one bank account in HDFC, in, let's suppose, in my area, in another area, the system might be able to not detect it before, but now after deduplication, system can detect it. You can, as I said, you can have a CRN in Ludhiana and you can open in Mumbai. So that is the way you can function your banking. Uh, Again, maybe KYC needed, but you can open account with same CID, customer ID, or CRN or CIF, whatever. There are different names, but they all mean the same. So all your identity with one bank will be with one CIF or one customer ID. So KYC gets due because of the RBI norms. Earlier it was 5 years and 3 years. Now it is almost every 2 years. So the system sends a reminder. The banks will send you SMS. Your KYC is due. Usually this is 2 years for every bank. So you need to give a copy of your Aadhaar or a PAN, whatever. This is basically to rule out that something fraud has happened, or someone, it is a joint account and someone is withdrawing money on your account. Maybe let's again, God forbid, there are two holders. One of the holder died actually 2 years back, and the second holder is misusing those funds and getting out the money. So that KYC is basically re-KYC is made to make sure that those things don't happen in that regard. So, as I told you, advantage of both family and privilege, there are separate benefits. You can always compare them. The banks will always encourage you to keep the balance because it is their whatever capital they have, it increases their liquid ratio. So they'll always welcome more funds with them. So now a very important aspect is the nomination facility. Uh, there are actually say three kinds of form: DA1, DA2, DA3. Whenever you open a new savings bank account or a current account, the DA1 is the default form which is attached to the savings account form. What does that mean? That means whom you want to nominate. I have a bank account where I have three holders. The bank asks me, still you want to nominate? Okay, yes, I do want to nominate. So why do you need it? You already have three holders in the account. Okay, is it not allowed? No, sir, it is allowed. Then do it. Do your job. You don't need to tell me what is allowed or not. So always fill in the nomination. This is mandatory because the legal hairs, as I mentioned in the Sunday session, the legal hairs will have a lot of hassles. So always we discuss this part on the Sunday finance session. So what is DA2? DA2 will not be attached. DA2 and DA3 will not be attached to your savings form. They are separately available. Trust me, you won't believe it, but 50% of the bankers don't know DA2, DA3, and especially the newcomers. What is DA2? DA2 is actually that you made a nomination in DA1, and let's suppose some senior citizen had an account. He mentioned his son as the say nominee of that account, or the couple had account. They mentioned their son as the nominee through DA1 when they do open up the account. Now let's suppose their son is no more. So to cancel that nomination, they will need a DA2. So DA2 is the cancellation of the nomination. So then same scenario, the old couple says our son is no more. Let's nominate our daughter who is married happily somewhere. So let's make her a nominee of our bank account so that if we are no longer in this world, our money should be given to our daughter. So then canceling the nomination and remaking is the DA3. So remember the difference. DA1 means you nominate, DA2 means you delete the nomination, DA3 means you cancel and make a new nomination. You don't need a DA1 to make a new at this stage, or then you file DA2. You will directly, if you say have DA1 already done and you want to change it, you can directly get a DA3 from the bank. Trust me, you need to tell the bankers, yes, yes, this nomination form exists. And I have this experience with many banks where we used to have different deconsolidated banking before I consolidated all my accounts. So all my family accounts, I mean to say. So they usually had this problem. Nahi sir, ye to hota hi nahi hai. This is not possible. And when I tell them certain things, but thrice in my life I have faced this question. Sir, आप कौन सी branch में काम करते हैं? When I tell them I'm a dentist or a doctor, they really feel that I'm joking. Anyways, so coming to the Aadhaar and the PAN thing. Now the Aadhaar and PAN makes sure that there is nothing called as A account or a B account, or a white account or a black account. So you need to make sure that any account will have a KYC with Aadhaar and PAN, and every account is in the site of the income tax department. So if you were thinking you are not disclosing that amount or disclosing that account, then you can escape for long. Maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, you can do that. But remember, if the thing comes to notice of the income tax department, you will be in a soup very, very soon. Remember that. Now come to an interesting part, which we actually don't know. I can say a couple of people in my house also don't know this thing very, very frankly. So checkbook leaves. Uh, about the checkbook, people don't know how to use a checkbook actually. So again, if it is a normal account, you get usually most of the private banks will give you one checkbook of 20 leaves free every quarter. These things keep on changing, so you need to refer to the bank website before ordering one. कईयों को शौक होता है checkbooks इकट्ठी करने का, so don't do that. uh, all of the checkbooks are compliant now, so you can't actually do that. Otherwise, before there was a era when there were non-compliant checkbooks available, but now everything is micro-based, magnetic ink recognition, character recognition. So all of them have a micro code, all of them have a IFC code. So these days no longer clearing is there. I'll come to that. So savings account, most of the accounts will offer you a free checkbook at the start, and usually a 20 leaf checkbook every quarter. If you have a lot of transactions through your checkbook, and if you go beyond that limit, the bank will charge you a certain amount, and that varies from bank to bank. It can be, say, as good as 2 to 3 rupees per leaf. Checkbook pages are known as checkbook leaves, like a tree leaves. They are known as checkbook leaves. For current account, usually any account 10,000, 25,000, everything is paid. So even if the first checkbook you have to buy, you want to take, the checkbook will be paid usually 2 to 3 rupees again per leaf. But now let's go back. If it is a privileged account or a grouping account or a family banking account, in that, if your current account is booked, then the checkbook will be free in that. Here comes one of the biggest advantage in that. Okay, I'll take all the queries in the end, don't worry. So you can keep on posting or you can keep on noting whatever you wish to. It is your choice, but I'll answer all the queries. I'm not in a hurry to finish because you can see the slides hardly have anything. Whatever there is, I'm just speaking extempore only. So remember, if you have a privileged banking or a family banking or a grouping, you will actually save on a lot of bank charges or bank expenses. Bank charges are nothing but just a irritation to you or your CA sometimes. ये क्या 25 रुपए 20 पैसे डाले हुए हैं या 150 रुपए 35 पैसे. Usually banks incur leave out pesas these days, but still some banks do stick to pesas even today. So that makes our balance sheet tedious in a way sometimes. So remember this thing. So just a minute. Yeah. So again, now this is a slide I have taken many times in many sessions. So what is the difference in our clinics for current account and a savings account? See, the only difference is that any current account will have unlimited transactions. The savings account now especially have a limit of 3 to 4 IBTs. IBTs are known as in branch transactions, and those actually mean that you can deposit and withdraw. These are different from the digital transactions you make, like a NEFT or RTGS. These are different from the ATM transactions you make, which may be different depending on the bank, about 4 to 5 in number per month. But the IBTs are basically cash deposit, cash withdrawal through check or through deposit slip. So this can, again, check clearing also is something different. That is in number. That also doesn't have a number. So if you have a high counter, high collection every week or every day, and you want to don't want to keep that money in your house or your clinic, then you can actually say going for a current account, because you will be depositing every alternate day. But if you are not, if you're happy to say deposit once a week, then you can opt in for a savings account. But better be aware of what your bank is offering you as a IBT. And again, these things keep on reducing or addition. Obviously, they never add these things. They keep on reducing these things. But you have to refer to the bank website. अगर आप करते हैं ट्रांजेक्शन तो आपको मैसेज आता है आपके पैसे कट गए. बाद में पता लगता है कि इनकी ट्रांजेक्शन 4 अलाउड थी. You have already made 4. This was your 5th transaction. So this ways we need to be aware. We don't have multiple accounts. We don't have say 50 accounts that we actually don't know about these things. But always ask for the charges. Read the charge list on the bank before you open up a new account in any bank. So then ATM, we all need to know the transaction, the limits. It will be available in the, say, schedule of charges. They always call that as SOC. As we have our SOP, the bank has a SOC, schedule of charges. They'll mention the transaction limit, number of transactions you can make. Again, if it is a family banking or a privileged banking, they will offer you much more than the normal. So you need to be very aware of how many times you can do it. So always better to group or say take advantage of those things. Then a passbook or a statement. The bank gives you a choice whether you want to maintain a passbook, a physical format, or a statement. If you want to get a physical statement, that is usually chargeable. But then again, you have to go to the bank. The simplest option for that is, if you don't want to keep a passbook, but you still want to have a control over your transactions, always better to opt for a e-statement. E-statement for 99.9% banks is free. They don't charge any amount for that. You can opt in for the monthly or the quarterly. So understand the free charges and the paid charges of the banks. So I keep passbook for few accounts. I keep statement for few accounts. It is a person choice. Current accounts will never have a passbook. They always have a statement. So anytime, and usually current account statements are not chargeable. Usually, unless you go every week to get a statement. So then they might, but otherwise they are not chargeable. So then the locker facility. Again, for the lockers, I'll say come back to the nationalized bank or semi-private bank like IDBI, like other bank, because the rentals are pretty less. The rentals can say range from 12,000 to 1,200 to 2,500 per year, and then they will allow you minimum, say maximum of 12 visits or entries in a year. Usually many banks will give you, like private bank will give you a first year discount. Banks like IDBI will give you a 25% discount on the locker rental if it is a female bank account. If it is a male, there is no discount. Of course, gender disparity is there in some banks, or maybe say privileges to females for maintaining their lockers and keeping the valuables. On the flip side, the locker system or the locker charges in a private bank are pretty costly. HDFC locker starts from 5,000 up to 7,000, depending upon the size. There are three sizes available: small, medium, and large. Rare case, some banks will have an extra large as well. So if you want to stash huge amount of cash, you can opt for the EL or the extra large one. So for that, I usually prefer a nationalized bank which has a locker facility. So you need to ask for a locker facility as well before you open up the account, because this thing is again going to come handy when you need to keep certain important documents if you are afraid of theft or anything, or you want to keep them in a safe place. So this is one thing. So look out for that. And then if you having a locker, if you are not making an entry in at least once a year, the bank will actually make your locker dormant. Or maybe sometimes your account is which is linked to the saving or to the locker and does not have a minimum balance, the bank will not allow you a entry into the locker, and your locker will be crossed mentioning rental due. So that is the thing sometimes which makes a difference. So then again, as I mentioned, when you open up a new account, be wary of the SMS banking, SMS charges. I usually don't use SMS banking unless the bank is offering it for free. I don't want to pay extra money for just an SMS update. When I have the net banking at my disposal, when I have a passbook at my disposal, when I have a option of an e-statement at my disposal, I don't need that. Remember, I forgot to mention one point here in the passbook. If you opt for a physical statement to be sent to you by post, the bank will charge you. Most of the banks will charge you. Passbook is free. E-statements and passbook can coexist together. You want an e-statement to be mailed to you and you want to keep a passbook. Both are free. But a physical statement is mostly chargeable depending upon what you want. Monthly, quarterly, to be sent to you by post, or you will collect it, or whatever mode you choose. So opt for a e-statement and a passbook if you want, depending upon that. So when I have opted for those two things, I don't need messages. And when you disable SMS banking, it does not disable your transaction password or your OTPs, or if you something you're making an online purchase, you get a OTP or get a say any message from the bank, that is not disabled because that is system enabled, those things. So even then, even though those things are not disabled, even if you disable SMS from the bank, those things are not normal things are not disabled. That is the primary requisite that is has to be there. I have disabled SMS banking of all my banks where it is chargeable, but I am still making online transactions. So you need to be very be relaxed about that part. That won't be there in your, even if you don't opt for it. bank employees actually misguide you. I always say, if there are incompetent doctors and dentists, no disrespect to anyone, there are incompetent people in every sphere, be it banking, be it chartered accountants. We all know, those who have attended my workshop, they have themselves found so many mistakes after my workshop in those ITRs and those whatever entries the CA does, especially in their balance sheets. So you need to understand these. This is a thing. अगर अगर आप एसएमएस डिसेबल करोगे तो फिर आप शॉपिंग नहीं कर पाओगे, आपको मैसेज ही नहीं आएगा. Ill qualified, not qualified, not knowing these things, people will misguide you. So you need to use your brains that this thing is not there. When I'm saying it, you need to trust me at least for these aspects. Okay, so the check slide got mismanaged. So a little bit, a few more things on check. Checks usually when you give, they go for clearing. The number one thing is to whom you are issuing the check. You have to mention that. I'll come to that. But the voucher you need to fill is if somebody has given you a check, let's suppose the issuer has a bank in HDFC and you have a bank account in State Bank of India. So you will fill in the brochure or the say deposit slip of State Bank of India, not the issuing bank, because your account is in State Bank of India. People do the reverse. जिस बैंक का चेक है वो भर देते हैं. I've seen many a times. I was there in one of the banks and actually somebody brought a deposit slip with the deposit slip of that bank. So people do that. Earlier checks, क्या होता था? There is a limited time for that. Some banks take out the clearance the checks when they are posted at that is known as the check clearing. So when they do that, actually they have a certain time. Some banks have 12 p.m., 12 noon, sorry, then 2 p.m. Some banks do maximum up to 3 p.m. Usually 3 p.m. is the cutoff time for posting the checks. So there is a difference. Sometimes the branch may be small. There is a another huge bank or a huge branch which is in the center of the city. So they might be keeping the cutoff time at 12 noon. They're sending whatever checks they have till 12 noon via their employee to that main bank where they are posted. And these days, earlier what happened, checks were picked up, taken to a clearing house. Separate, there was a clearing house in the center of the city usually, where the checks were exchanged from different banks. And the next days, money was credited. And the third day, अगर वापसी होती थी या कुछ problem होती थी, the process was 3 days. Now the process is approximately 28 hours. Even if the bank's cutoff time is 2 p.m., the next day morning funds will be available, but you can't withdraw that. By evening, if the check has no problem, the return or the wapsi will be cleared, and by evening the funds will be shown in your account. You can withdraw that by 5 p.m. So it's roughly 27 hours or so. So earlier the checks used to be physically sent. Now they are just scanned and the images are sent. So the micro code. Just see a demo check. Let's just suppose this is a SBI check. This is the IFC code which is mentioned over there along with the branch address. This is the date of issue, the pay whom you want to issue the check, the amount in words. If it is 1500 rupees, don't write 1500 rupees. It has to be written 1500 rupees only. Don't mention that. Then the amount in figures, then signatures. The account should, somebody who gets an instant kit from the bank, then he opens the account. The kit will not have the number mentioned over here. So you need to manually fill it in letters. What are the tips for checks? I'll give you after this. So at the bottom of the checkbook, there is a 6-digit number, which is a check number. If you have to fill what is the check number, this is the number you need to keep with you on the counterfoil. Then followed by that, there is a micro code, magnetic ink character recognition, then account ID, and then the transaction code. This is a constituent of a check on that. So all of these are now compliant checks. So the process is now down to 2. So what are the reasons of check return usually? I'll come to that. Usually double writing, usually overwriting, usually pen not given, or there's a mismatch in the number, or there's a cutting, or there is a double say correction not done properly. Or these days the RBI has say become very strict. So the banks have very strict guidelines to reject a check even if they find slightest of the doubts. Remember, check when it returns, sometimes it causes, again, it depends upon your bank. Sometimes it will cause charges to both the payee and the payer. So remember, you need to be very cautious while writing a check. Again, check writing is an art. I'll give you the tips after this. So the check number needs to be there. As I told you, the next day, if you issued a check by mistake, the next day you before 12 noon, if you inform your bank that maybe the check was issued by mistake, I already made a cash payment to that XYZ, you can stop your check payment. Some banks do charge rupees 50 or 100 for that. Uh, but then you can be saved of that amount in return of that 50 or 100. But again, if you are under grouping or family banking, these things will not be chargeable to you. So be very cautious. There are certain few precautions these days with digital banking or the image clearing coming into play. You actually don't need to fill in the deposit slip. Just mention at the back the name where you are. Let's suppose this is it looks like an HDFC check. So if you are depositing in, let's suppose, SBI, you mention Bhavdeep Singh Ahuja, State Bank of India, account number, and below that, telephone number or your mobile number where you can be reached in case of a problem. Some sorry, some banks will not require you to even fill in a deposit slip, but some cranky banks will tell you. In today's times, RBI is mandated. It is not mandated to do that. So but some will still say to file a deposit slip. So people need to be very cautious to fill in the numbers. Check number is a mandatory one. The branch address, which branch is it issued, is there, and sometimes some deposit slips have a IFC code as well to be filled in. So always, whenever you deposit check taken from someone, write the details at the back. So even if the check is misplaced, it still can get to its due destination in the bank itself. Earlier, it was more mandatory because the checks used to be physically transferred. These days, they are not physically transferred. The clearing or the image sourcing happens in the bank only, maybe to a different branch sometimes, but then the transit can cause a loss. So, how to write a check? I'll give you tips. So, write in a way, number one, it is difficult to alter. The correct way, if you keep too much space, somebody can alter your name. Then always cross the check. Cross means placing two double lines. Even if you don't write account pay, if you cross, then nobody can take a cash payment against your check. If you just write, make two lines, that itself understands for account pay. Or maybe you can write A by C, A slash C, that means account. For example, saving bank account means S slash B, saving bank account. So similarly, A by C means account, pay, P-A-Y-E-E. Then any clinic payment above check, always cross above 10,000. Any loan, gift, or any other payments above 10, 20,000, always cross. Because this is as per the cash transaction laws, which has been changed in 2018. You need to adhere to that actually. So make sure that you don't do that. Then always use the full name of the person. If it is Sumit Kumar, then write Sumit Kumar. Don't write Sonu. मैं तो उसको सोनू के नाम से जानता हूँ. Because remember, the accounts will be opened uh, in the mode of your Aadhaar and PAN card only. So the person who you're issuing to check will have the full name only. Then add a line after the name and account. Here you write the name, add a line, just a parallel line to this black line. Just add a line, or maybe with a small cross in between. Then again after the amount also, so that those things can't be altered. Then cancel the word bearer. There is a word bearer also mentioned here. This is the word bearer. Bearer means you can take, anybody can take a cash payment. If you cross the check, nobody can take a cash payment, but you need to understand that these things are actually very small things which come handy. Then most of all, वो पुराने जमाने में होता था ना, जब किसी की बेटी से, अमीर आदमी की बेटी से प्यार कर लो तो कहता था ये लो ब्लैंक चेक ले जाओ, जो मर्जी अमाउंट भर लो. आजकल व्हाट्सएप पे जोक भी आता, कहाँ गए वो बाप, आजकल मिलते नहीं है, तो ब्लैंक चेक देते थे. So don't sign on the blank check. Jokes apart, don't sign on a blank check. Always fill in the amount yourself, even if you want to issue. So now the tips while you accept a check from someone. We usually write less and accept more, especially in our clinics. So make sure the check is signed. I have had a few checks in my initial years of clinic where everything was fine except the signature. The signature was not there only. not deliberately, but the patient just missed it. Obviously they did it afterwards. Then check should not be post dated. A couple of days fine if those coming days are holidays, but not of 1 month 2 months. Don't do that. Don't accept any post dated checks in your clinic. Then no dirty marks on the check. Handwriting has to be consistent on all the parts of the check. As I said, RBI ने बहुत strict rules कर दिए हैं. So then same ink, same pen flow. Wherever the bank will find any tampering, it will reject the check. No spelling mistakes. If you're made, reissue a check. There is no point in correcting that because there's no overwriting allowed, no cutting allowed, no double writing allowed. कई बार होता है ना, पेन हम चलाने लगते हैं तो वो थोड़ा सा इंक छोड़ जाता है, स्पेशली अ बॉल पेन, वो डबल इंक छोड़ जाता है. दैट इज अ गुड केस फॉर अ चेक रिजेक्शन. Then no tampering on the mica code because that is the one which is used in the image clear. So you need to make sure of these whenever you कई बार हम लोग क्या करते हैं, काम कर रहे होते हैं क्लिनिक में, असिस्टेंट को बोलते हैं चेक ले लो, आप कोई बात नहीं, सर से चेक ले लो, सर कुछ जानते हैं हमको, कोई बात नहीं, ले लो चेक. Make sure you check these things before you accept a check from any of the patient. So net banking always mandatory. I always say banks की net banking में क्या होता है, you always get a login ID. Login password only. They'll let you in only after the SMS, like a Kotak Mahindra Bank. You log in with your ID. They give you the flexibility to log in the nickname as well, apart from your CRN. CRN word is used in Kotak, I think in Deutsche Bank also, and in Kotak mainly. So they'll give you option to do that. Once you file in your nickname or your CRN and your password, a SMS will come on your phone number, registered mobile number, and that mentions the OTP. Unless you enter that OTP, you will not be able to log in the net banking. Then certain banks like Federal Bank, they'll have a 2FA. 2FA known as two-factor authentication. They have a device, small device, which is like say pager kind of a device, very small, just like this. So you enter your login ID, your password, and then you have to sync that. Before that, you enter the 4 or 6 digit OTP from two-factor authentication, and then you can log in over there. Then most of the banks on your transaction through your net banking will need you to file a transaction password. तो मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ पासवर्ड ऐसा रखिए जो आपको भी याद रहे. It should always be alphanumeric. It should always be like this in a sequence. People ask me, how can we remember password of so many banks? Don't keep one, but you can keep it in a standardized manner. For example, let's suppose your password can be, whatever your login is, Sita 6789, then special characters of 7, 6, and 5, followed by a caps of Y or H or a J or a N. Because most banks will require the password to be alphanumeric, they will require at least 3 special characters, and they'll require 1 caps lock character as well. So Sita 6789 special character 765 will followed by maybe a Y will give you your login password. If you want to keep a transaction password of the same bank, you can keep it in a similar manner. Sita 6789 special character 765 4 add कर दीजिए उसमें, followed by the same Y or whatever caps lock you have. So you just added 1 special character and your password is the same. And you can follow same uniformity policy in your different bank accounts, of course. So this is the way I have told in one of my webinars. I don't remember, but it is there on YouTube where I've told to detail the password about it. So you need to do it. Banks like Yes Bank, banks like Kotak, banks like even I think RBL. No, so RBL has a transaction password. So they'll need only your OTP after you say want to make a payment. So they'll need accordingly. So make sure your net banking password is never of your first name, never of your date of birth, because in any case it needs alphanumeric, caps lock, characters, special characters, all that. So we all know about these things. Now, what other options bank will offer you? The NEFT, National Electronic Funds Transfer, RTGS, real-time gross settlement, immediate fund transfer, IMPS, funds transfer, physical, online, whatever way. So NEFT is any amount up to 2 lakh. If you want to, NEFT used to be done in batches of 9, 11, 1, 3, 5, and the last batch was usually at 6 p.m. Now, since the past 6 or 8 months, or almost 1 year, I guess, NEFT is 24 by 7. You can do it online as well. You can obviously the banks are not open 24/7. They are open only till the designated time of 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. for the public dealing, depending upon the bank. Public dealing for many nationalized banks is till 4 p.m. For banks like Yes Bank, it is till 5 p.m. For banks like RBL and Indus, it is till 5:30 p.m. as well. So it all depends upon what is the customer dealing time with the bank. So even RTGS has been made since the last week. It is also 24/7. So RTGS is any amount above 2 lakhs. It is again done in batches differently, but then this information is sent to RBI as well of the bigger amounts. Then IMPS is the immediate fund transfer. If you want to do by your account to mobile or mobile to account number, both the ways are possible. Sometimes some banks will incur charges on IMPS. Some banks have physical charges for NEFT and RTGS. Also, although since July 2019, the RBI has done away with NEFT and RTGS charges, but still some banks are charging them. But if you make those payments online after adding pays, the banks will not charge. No bank charges any amount, any charges for NEFT or RTGS done online. The only thing is you need to add a pay. And for some banks like HDFC, you can't transfer funds minimum after 30 minutes. For banks like IDBI, it is 60 minutes. But even after that 30 to 60 minutes, there is a say hot time or say time which doesn't allow you to transfer over a certain amount. Like let's suppose 20,000, 50,000, depending on your account type. So it is always better to do it online. You don't need to visit a branch. I always and then most of the banks have linked their 26AS as well. You can log in through your PAN or log in through your net banking through your 26AS as well. You can do your tax filing also through this. You can pay your tax also through this. So the ITR way is actually going in that sense. So banks are all linked. So as I said, there is nothing called as a A or a B account. कोई black or white account नहीं होता. They are all similar in that regard. So there are other facilities also, book FD, book RD, buy sovereign gold bonds, and many more transactions which are possible online. Trust me, सिर्फ दो काम के लिए पैसे चाहिए होते हैं या कैश डिपॉजिट के लिए यूजली पेमेंट्स भी आप ऑनलाइन कर सकते हैं. You can link your credit card. You can pay your credit card for the same bank. Even for a third party bank, you can make even say pay to other Visa card transactions. You can add a pay in that without any charges. Anything done online will usually not attract any charges, especially these facilities which the banks offer. They only charge on those facilities if you go physically to the bank. Remember going, see, I'm also in my clinic scrubs even right now after my clinic. So sometimes people who work in scrubs or even in laminated suits or a PPEs, it is not difficult to change and then go to the bank and then come back and don the PPE again. We are whole day in the bank. Either we rely on our staff to do that, or the other option is we ourselves. So it is always better, except cash deposit, all things should be done online. So you need to have a basic knowledge of those things. Even you can set your ATM pin as well. If you've forgotten that, it will allow you to reset your ATM pin as well. There are a lot many facilities available. I've just enumerated a few. Many banks are now updating, and almost every bank is standardized now to offer you all possible facilities. So except cash deposit, you can check. Uh, you can do anything online. I do all my transactions online except say quarterly or a 6 monthly update of passbooks and a cash deposit. Otherwise, I do all my transactions, everything online, any pay addition, any payment. There are a lot of service request options as well available if you want to place to the bank. So the only thing is when you open up a new account, to be aware of all those things as I've told you today, especially the nomination, the SMS banking, or the messages, or the statement, or all those things. So make sure that those things are actually not taken for granted in some matters. So we all need to know these basics. There are many more, but then maybe some other time. This is the time I had allotted, and I'm glad that I'm just sticking to the desired time of 60 minutes for today. So financial literacy for your future financial freedom is a must, and banking makes a core part of that. So the carry home gyan for today: be financially literate. Start with the basics. Basics. I told you the four parts. Slowly build on that. Always remember, step one to step 10 के through होके ही जाना पड़ेगा. You can't jump any step. So you need to do that for wealth creation as well. So you need to understand for the basic part as well. Advanced पे जाना है, to go through the basic of step one, two, three, four. Then look for other things like stock market or other mutual funds or other things which you want. Thank God for lockdown. Otherwise, even I would not have been possible. It would not have been possible to take so many webinars and write so many articles which I've done in this year. So if you realize this, you can take benefit of these articles and videos. Again, I always say it is a personal choice. The rest is always up to you. So this is the model for today. Financial literacy is an important life skill because it increases your financial resilience, promotes savings and financial success, prevents your financial costly errors and fraud, reduces anxiety, and cushions the impact of recessions. So thank you so much. And a couple of announcements before I unmute all of you for the queries part. This is my channel. Um all the videos which I've taken will be there, but it'll take some time to which I've taken in the past 3 days. All these four sessions will take some time, but the rest of the videos are there. You can subscribe to my channel, go to YouTube, and hit the bell icon, and you because I'll be posting many videos every week. So all my social media presence is by my name only, Dr. Bhavdeep, without any name underscore or dot. Facebook, Insta, Twitter. You can follow me everywhere or anywhere you want. So this is my contact. You can get in touch. Email, website again going with the same name, drbhavdeep at gmail, and website also by same name. So if you want to read something more on finance, I've already notifying you once again. Uh, I've been writing, say, for two journals. Of course, Idea Punjab has been now discontinued, but WGSR many parts will be there very soon. But they are all available on my website. Go to the website, open the link /finance.html, and you'll get over there. So this video is going on my page as well. So I have WhatsApp groups, two of them. Most of you are there in there. I plan to keep it at till 5, but now the sixth one is also on because people keep on leaving. So I keep on adding from temporary to the main groups. So any one of you who's watching on my page can send me a message to watch on my cell to add me over there. I'll add you graciously. So one thing I always appreciate, as I told you yesterday also, kindly post your feedback in the group. Usually, this is the end session of this year, so do post your feedback in the group if you have anything to take away from today's session. So bookers and brickbats would be both welcome in equal measure. Thank you so much, all of you. So I stop my share for the queries. First, I'll take from the chat part, and then I will take queries from all of you. In the meanwhile, I'm unmuting all of you. Okay, let me take the queries from there. Okay, thank you, SE0384 for reminding me for the AQB. Dr. Dheeraj, still some cooperative banks are like black account. Why banks are charging for NEFT and we don't like to pay hard-earned money to bank? Uh, if your question was at 8-1, I think it was already covered in the presentation itself. So as I always say, I always take care of the loopholes myself only, which will be the questions. I told that cooperative banks, I don't consider them banks, they are cooperative societies. They call themselves as bank, but they are not RBI regulated. Since just recently there was a notification that all of them will be notified under RBI regulation. The sooner it happens, the better it is for all of us who are having accounts in cooperative banks. I don't consider them bank. Right, for NEFT, banks are charging, although the RBI mandate is very clear, they are not charging anything. The best would be for you to do these transactions online, as I just told, giving the example of mine and your scrubs, which you wear in the clinic. So, but don't pay to banks. It is very futile to pay to the bank when you can do everything from the comfort of from your home. For the banking, I always say you can do an EFH, everything from home except cash deposit. You can do everything. So Dr. Mayur asks some bank charges quarterly for Insta Alert and annual debit card fees. So any tips to avoid the same? I gave you an example. Opt for a family banking, opt for a privilege banking. There are many things, and don't opt for. If you have a net banking, why do you need Insta Alert? You will anyways get an alert for the requisite things from the bank. Those things are primary inclusion. Those cannot be there. I don't have any chargeable SMS. Whatever banks I'm banking with, I'm banking with 5, 6 banks for my whole family. I'm not having a chargeable SMS from anyone. So I am still making transactions online. If I get OTP, then only I can make them. So don't worry about those parts. You can avoid them very easily. uh, and opt for you can opt for different facilities given by the banks, like a privilege banking or a family banking. Obviously everyone in the family has an account, so why not shift to one common bank which offers you some facilities, and opt for a grouping also. Do your Reiki first, do your search first before you actually go in for this. Dr. Dheeraj asks, sir, expenses from current account is for dealers, labs, any company, petrol, salary. What should we use from LIC investment daily expenses? Again, it is a personal choice. Whenever I tell about bank accounts, I always tell keep your personal drawing separate, keep your investment separate, and keep your clinic transaction separate. No difference if you can do everything from same as well. But the best part is that you can, at the end of the year, when you're about to make your ITR, you're about to make your balance sheet, these things will come a lot handy to you, and you will find easy collection of all these once you do those things. So I hope you get the answer. So Dr. Lalit asks for OTP for transactions, next SMS of one account. Not required, Dr. Lalit. I mentioned it very clearly. So I think I've answered that 3 times. So not an
So
issue.
for nationalized bank, like
वो
national.
बुद्धू वो बुद्धू बनाते हैं बॉस आपको. मैं आपको बोल चुका हूँ वो बुद्धू बनाते हैं. देयर आर इनकॉम्पिटेंट
Like,
एम्प्लॉइज एवरीवेयर. They don't know it themselves. ये आरबीआई की तरफ से मैंडेट है. हाउ कैन दे कैंसिल इट?
so
ऐसे
when I do the net banking, they when I do the net banking, the OTP they give, they say if you not take SMS banking, we will not
ये
provide the.
सबसे ज्यादा अफवाह फैलाता है पीएनबी, पंजाब नेशनल बैंक. आपको किस बैंक से मिला है?
SBI also says
कहने
SBI.
दो, कोई बात नहीं, करके देख लो एक बार, पता लग जाएगा.
Oh yes sir.
डोंट वरी. मेरा मेरा प्राइमरी अकाउंट जो है ना क्लिनिक की ट्रांजैक्शंस का, दैट इज इन
Yes sir.
एसबीआई.
Yes sir.
वो भी इसलिए रखा क्योंकि फादर की रिस्पेक्ट थी मेरे को. फादर एसबीआई के एम्प्लॉय थे, प्लस मेनी अदर थिंग्स लाइक
Sir,
बच्चों
my
को.
father is also bank employee.
तो फिर
Now he is retired.
उनको पूछो ना, ये चीज तो होती नहीं है. ये चीज पता होती है सबको. ये तो बुद्धू बनाते हैं बस चार्जिंग के लिए, और कुछ नहीं है.
Yes sir. Yes
बैंकों
sir.
की कमाई कहाँ से है? लोन्स को ले नहीं रहा बेचारों से. तो बैंक तो
Yes sir.
कमाएंगे कहाँ से? कमाएंगे चिल्लड़ से. हमें
Yes
चिल्लड़
sir.
लगती है, लेकिन अगर वो सारे एम्प्लॉय अकाउंट्स की ऐड कर लो तो कितना बड़ा अमाउंट बन जाता है. इवन अ वन
Yes
रुपी
sir. Yes sir.
1 rupee error in all accounts can make a huge sum for a bank.
Sure sir. Sure sir. Sure.
Are GPay, PhonePe, Paytm, etc. transactions chargeable by bank? Most of the banks don't do that till now, but anything can change in future. So you need to realize that you need to be updated with the banking norms. So presently, Paytm is a very dicey thing. Paytm itself will charge you for transferring them to your savings account. So Paytm has a very high transaction rate as well. So I'm not a very big fan of Paytm as well, unless it is a Paytm for business, which is free for all. I had a workshop just before the lockdown in January 19th, 20th, Sunday and Monday it was. So with Dr. Nilesh in Virar. So there actually, Dr. Nilesh saw me that even Paytm for business was chargeable in some areas of Mumbai. So till now, even till date, even I just yesterday also had a transaction from Paytm for business. I was not charged anything, and the same amount was the whole amount was transferred to my bank. Okay, Dr. Ramchandra. Uh, this is Dr. Harshada. So Dr. Ramchandra, thank you, sir. So Dr. Jimit asks, hello, sir. Is it advisable to take the card swiping machine for clinic, as my bank insists to take, and some patients at time ask? Uh, there is no harm in taking a machine. It is just an option which you can offer to your patients, but try to take the one which has the lowest rental. Banks are giving it as low as 250 per month, but then sometimes some banks at 250 per month will have a rider along with that कि minimum महीने की 25,000 की transaction आप करेंगे. If you're not doing 25,000 transactions, they'll charge you another amount for that. So be sure about, read the merchant agreement, read the fine print very carefully, ask it very clearly, and don't rely on hearsay. Bank employee ने बोल दिया, don't rely on that. Always trust the clause which you have. Banks can even change the clause which you have signed without information. I had a HDFC machine in 2005. I was one of the earliest in my towns to get it. It was there till 2012, and I paid one-time fees of installation. I don't remember the amount. It was 2,600 at that time. So it was that even if I don't make any transactions in a month, so it will not be there. So those were the cash times people used to pay cash. Even we used to accept cash happily. There was no knowledge of these things which I am giving it out to you. But then by 2012, the HDFC changed its merchant clause and made it to 25,000 per month. I incurred some charges, so then I returned the machine. So they can even change the merchant agreement. You need to be aware of those things. अगर आप अपनी स्टेटमेंट 6 महीने नहीं देखेंगे, अपना बैंक का ही नहीं देखेंगे 6 महीने, तो हाउ विल यू नो what losses you are incurring? This is also a loss. What you are earning is actually leaking through another corner of your clinic. So remember, you need to do that. If your patients are asking, go in for it. No harm in getting it for your clinic. At one point of time I had 3 machines, because one was being deinstalled, one was being installed, and one was an added advantage. So at one point, I think in 2013 or 2012 end, I had 3 machines at one time in my clinic. Dr. Anupama, thank you so much. I don't remember I don't know the name, but SE0384 asks, can PPF account be open for kids? If yes, it is a good option. It is 100% good option. If you have a female child or a daughter, open a Sukanya Samriddhi as well. I have for both of my daughters, both accounts. So 4 accounts for both of my daughters. So no harm in getting that. I've always, my last session was never keep your all eggs in one basket. Always diversify your investments. So yes, PPF account, but yes, there is a limit to tax saving. If you put in 50 for your kid in your account, the limit of the same can be 1 lakh in your account for the tax saving purpose. So thank you, Dr. Dhagash. Dr. Madhavi asks, hello, sir. How do banks calculate the interest on saving bank account? I told you it was earlier 1 to 10 system. Now it is ADB, average daily balance, calculated by the system. So whatever amount maybe you have in that, it is automatically there. And it is, say, banks will add in. Most of the banks are now mandated. Earlier it was entered as 6 monthly interest. Now most of the banks are mandated to, say, put in a saving interest every quarter minimum. 31st March, 30th June, 30th September and 31st December. So हम सब लोग जितने बैंक अकाउंट है परसों मालामाल हो जाएंगे, क्योंकि बैंक में हमारे इंटरेस्ट आएगा 31st December. So average daily balance is the thing which is taken into account. Banks like AU Small Financial Bank, banks like OBC, they offer a monthly interest. Again, amount तो वही रहेगा, सिर्फ उन्होंने 3 टुकड़ों में दे दिया, क्वार्टर की बजाय उन्होंने मंथली दे दिया. So how do why current bank account is chargeable sometimes on deposits also? Current bank account is a facility which offers you unlimited cash deposits and cash withdrawals. So when some things are there, nothing comes free of cost. You have to pay for something. So the charges, the schedule of charges, the SOC has to be the schedule of charges has to be read very, very carefully. So what is the difference between NEFT and RTGS? Any amount up to 50,000 is taken as IMPS. Any amount up to 2 lakhs is taken as NEFT. Any amount above 2 lakhs is taken as RTGS. That is the significance. You can't do a NEFT for 5 lakhs. You can't do a RTGS for 1.5 lakhs. So remember this thing. Up to 2 lakhs is the NEFT. So Dr. Bhavana asks, sir, what are account maintenance charges per? It varies from bank to bank. Some of the banks usually have 750 per quarter. Some banks have 500 per quarter. It depends on bank to bank. What are the charges? Again, those things will be clear when you open up a new account. It will be clear in the SOC or the schedule of charges. You need to, or you can check the bank website for that. And these things keep on changing. If you are subscribed to the banking updates, they'll send you a mail. They'll always send you a mail, if not in physical, of the change in the banking charges. And bank charges keep on changing, sometimes every quarter, sometimes 6 monthly. Sometimes it is not dependent upon date. They'll change out anytime. So a global scenario happens and the interest rates are down. So they'll say a new schedule of charges is coming. They'll resettle their bank, say bank interest rates or FD rates, and those things will keep on happening. So Dr. Jimmy, thank you so much. Dr. Dheeraj, thank you. Thank you. Dr. Raghu asks, SBI is what I'm primarily using. Best to go for IndusInd ICI? Yes, for all family members, and apply for group family banking. Yes Bank definitely offers you grouping and family banking. Kotak also offers you same. RBL offers you the same. Uh, mm, I'm not sure about DBS, but yes, many banks these offer. IndusInd will give you a privileged banking for 1 lakh balance in your account, and there is a host of many facilities coming with that. Don't opt for their enhanced debit card, which comes at a cost. You pay some amount and they'll enumerate you 50,000 rupees of benefits, which are not, many of them are not usable. You can keep on sticking to your ordinary debit card, but you can keep a privileged bank account which has a offer. I recently went to a IndusInd Bank. Uh, my wife's account is there, and he said, "Sir, इस मैं आपको इसकी स्टेटमेंट दे देता हूँ, तो वैसे चार्जेबल है, मैं आपको फ्री कर देता हूँ।" तो बॉस, मेरा प्रिविलेज्ड अकाउंट है, यू कांट चार्ज आल्सो। ही वाज लाइक, इतना सा शक्ल बन गई बेचारे की, क्या करे, ये मेरे से ज्यादा आगे क्यों है? एनीवेज, so these are small things. So Dr. Shavik, thank you. I wish to know what Smart Hub and HDFC, is it possible to explain? Uh, in what sense do you want to ask, Dr. Shavik? I didn't get your question.
Sir, I'm not sure what it is. So anything, if you can throw any light, will be good, sir.
The Smart Hub is what? I didn't
Sir,
get
वो
it.
portal है for transactions of money. It has been introduced maybe some time back, 2 years or so. Some people are using it. It is some third-party app जैसा है या पता नहीं मुझे exactly, sir. I am not
Okay,
sure.
I'll get back to you in the group because I'm not really aware of it.
Sure, sure.
I've stopped my banking with HDFC long back.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
It is one of the most overrated private banks, uh, practically offering you nothing but having lots of customers. So
A lot of people are taking card swipe machines from HDFC. Even I have been recommended by almost
my
5 to 6
first machine in my clinic in 2004 was from HDFC only. I told you it went on perfectly
Yes.
fine for 8 years. My oldest credit card is from HDFC. Their products might be good, but their banking products otherwise are not good at all. And they're offering interest at now currently about 2.75. And that is peanuts. Not even 3.5 or 4% interest. I don't need that. That is one of the overrated private banks. They have a lot of business, they have a lot of customers, but I'm not really a big fan of them. And plus, by chance or so, the bank is not bad. The bank employees are bad usually. So we make a reputation on the bank based on the bank employees. Whatever bank I have near me is one of the worst banks in my area. My area has 18 banks and 19 branches. One of the bank has 2 branches as well in 1.5 square kilometer area. We talk about dentists, see the banking competition in my area. So this is one of the reason I know about most of the banks as well. And they are there since 2006 or 7. They kept on increasing in numbers since a long time.
Sir, HDFC में भी there is one which is blue colored रहता है और one is red. I mean there is same sister branch है कि नहीं पता नहीं, but they are two different banks it seems. एक red में आता है, एक blue में आता है.
HDFC में?
हाँ sir, HDFC
चीज?
में हाँ.
नहीं, वो चेकबुक देखी आपने क्या?
नहीं sir, नहीं. There are two separate HDFC banks in our locality. तो they are like कि नहीं हम
वो रेड वाला जो है वो हाउसिंग फाइनेंस, वो लोन वाला है.
ओके ओके
वो
ओके
बैंकिंग नहीं है, वो ब्लू वाली बैंक है. डोंट
ओके
वरी.
ओके थैंक यू सर.
Might be. Okay. So Dr. Rajni, how is Bharat Pay swipe machine? They are saying it's free. सब कुछ फ्री नहीं है. भारत पे के भी यूजर्स बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है. Let's see how it folds up. But presently, many things are not clear on this part. So I'll suggest to wait and watch till many things get clear. Obviously, and the starting cost is also high for Bharat Pay. So I'll tell Dr. Rajni, I want you to wait for a few more months before it gets in total, say, circulation overall. Dr. Jimit asked, is it true that some people say that we all should always have one account in a nationalized bank? If you want to have one account in a nationalized bank, that should be usually in the SBI. Why I say that? Because most of, if you have kids, your transactions, your fees payment, and many things are possible in SBI. Then SBI has a by default facility of a PPF as well. And opt for that SBI branch, which usually has a locker as well. Because nationalized bank locker, that is the biggest positive point about nationalized bank, their lockers. The locker rentals are one of the lowest than the private banks. So that is the reason if somebody wants to have a banking with any nationalized bank, I will suggest only SBI. Not because my dad retired from it, but yes, they have a host of other facilities as well, and their payments are acceptable all over. Okay, Dr. Anupama, sir, my daughter had BOB account at Jodhpur. Now her account has been shifted to Panipat. The bank is not updating her phone number and email instead of repeated applications. Sir, kindly guide. Ma'am, the only thing is you need to go to the bank and fill in the, say, there is a multi-utility form sometimes in some banks. There is a service request form sometimes. There are different names like a CIF or a CID, different names of the form, but that will have a KYC update form, or maybe the one which will have your email website update. So where your account has been transferred, you need to once go physically over there, make a signature, attach a KYC proof along with, and then only your phone number or email will be updated over there. But this is a very common problem with the nationalized banks. They do not do certain things on your request on email. But even for private banks, they will not change your phone number on a service request made online, because phone number is one thing which can be, say, used as a duplicating device, or say it can be used for your OTP sometimes, for regeneration fraud which happens. So the banks have disabled that option of mobile number to be updated even for private banks online. You can update your email, you can do everything else except updating your mobile number. For that, you have to visit the bank physically, give a KYC proof, and then only it will be done. So that holds again, that comes as a part of the RBI guidelines. It has nothing to do with any bank or any, say, system administrated. So you need to visit that bank. Okay. So why keeping post-dated check is harmful? Uh, as I say, when we are indulging in clinic, we indulge in those payments. Sometimes people won't take us seriously. So we need to make sure that our checks are immediately in the recent date and not post-dated. It is always better. Somebody might have checks bouncing back. So you need to make sure those things don't happen with you, especially in your clinic, especially when you're not able to take care of your finances in the great deal. So is there any online way to accept payment for clinic like SPay Collector or HDFC Smart Hub? Do you recommend something like that? HDFC recently came up with a, say, EMI scheme like a thing. It is a LSF scheme basically for furniture, or FSL, I think. Something I don't remember. There was a representative with me last week as well. So he wanted actually to me to enroll for it. Then I'll get the payment the next day from the patient, from the bank. Then the patient will get a EMI facility from the bank. So when there are direct modes available, why do I need to indulge in the indirect modes? SBI's Yono system was down since many days, and HDFC also had a server problem 2 weeks back. So not that this can't happen with any other bank, but when you have many other modes of payment, especially the phone pay and the GPay, which directly do from bank to bank, the checks are there, the swipes are there. Why do you need to go for any other options which are other than the regular? And of course cash is there as well. So don't go in for other options when the normal modes are available. These are not the roads lesser traveled, these are the roads least traveled presently for many. I won't recommend that currently when you have many other options. There are so many options, not one or two. Kindly give your opinion on fixed deposits. Dr. Karthika, I think that you haven't attended any of my wealth creation webinars. I hate FDRs. I really hate FDRs. My dad was a banker. He used to get extra interest on senior citizen on account of being a senior citizen. He got another half of 1% extra being a bank employee. Before he expired last year, we got all FDs of all my family, say, liquidated in 2017. The actual return. There is a video on that also by me uh, on YouTube, and I mentioned in separately in detail in my wealth creation seminars. FDRs, if done as a, say, block for emergency fund, these days they are not giving you more than 6. They're 5.5, 5.6 only. And if you have to withdraw prematurely, the average actual after taxation return will be close to 2.5 or 3%, which is actually even less than your saving bank account. So why are you fan of FDRs? Don't do that. Watch those videos. You'll get a detailed knowledge in that. Thank you, Dr. Raghu. Thank you. Any more queries? Or I hope I didn't miss anyone. Any more queries? Please feel free to ask. Thank you, Dr. Bhavana. Thank you, Dr. Karthika. Thank you, Dr. Radhana. Please do post your feedback in the group. Thank you, Dr. Prayan. these are the banking basics. There is much more as well, but these were the only things which came into my mind. I actually had planned to take the session this way, not that I had a paucity of time. I was actually thinking of what session should be taken as the finale one. Uh, Yesterday night only, or maybe on Sunday night only, it dawned upon me that maybe the banking basics would be good, but I never wanted to prepare any slides for that. I just wrote down the points and just elaborated whatever I knew. There might be many more points as I say revisit these, because there is a lot of information that I have on this, and whatever possible I could convey in the past 1 hour, and again the further 25 minutes on queries I've done to you. So I hope they are useful to you in one or the other way. So those who missed out, it is their choice. But still, I deliberately, this is a paid group session, but I deliberately wanted other people to attend it, and deliberately say uh, without making it live in the Facebook group, I made it live on the page so that people do come across the page and watch it, because page is free for everyone. So I want maximum people to visit it and read and understand these things. So thank you, Dr. Harshada. Yes, finale is always special, and it has to be. So I always keep the best things for the last, usually. Thank you, Dr. Lalit. Okay, if there are no more questions, should I call it a day, or anything else you want to ask? Another minute or so, or if not, then I'll call it a day. So Nirmala ji is not obliging as yet. She wants you to file the ITR before 31st. So she is not relenting. Even the ICI Institute of Chartered Accountants has given message twice. 2 days back, it sent a reminder to CBDT. The Suresh Prabhu, Minister of Railways, who actually presented the 2018 budget when Mr. Jaitley was not well. No, sorry, he was the finance minister before. Mr. Piyush Goyal presented. So Suresh Prabhu is a CA. He actually sent in a personal request letter to Nirmala ji. But on the other hand, the finance ministry actually gave out the data of the income tax returns filed till today. So they are actually pestering people to file it. Even if they have to postpone, they'll postpone it tomorrow, so that everyone has done before the due date. Okay, then see you. All of you have a happy new year and a blessed one, 2021. I hope so. Not like 2020 for many of you. I don't have any complaints from 2020. I had a lot to grow personally, professionally, and otherwise. I don't look at the negative things. I look at the positive things in life, and I hope I'm able to impart. Date is still February 28, 21. Didn't get to you, Dr. Virendra. Date is okay.
Sir, it has been extended.
अच्छा हो गई है ये मेरे लेक्चर के
हाँ सर,
टाइम
मुझे लिंक मिला था दोपहर को सर.
ना दोपहर तक तो नहीं हुई थी, फिर फॉल्स लिंक था वो. I get IT department updates in my inbox. अभी शाम को latest आया है. IT department has introduced a Jhatpat processing feature for seamless ITR filing. People who have actually
Finance Minister Nirmala has once again extended the deadline for filing IT to February 28, 2021, sir. That I got it at 12:19 p.m.
No, I got at 2:33 p.m. Will ITR due date get extended? Finance Minister resists the pleas of extension. This is at 2:33 p.m. and this is from IT department itself.
Okay, then I got a fake one, sir. Sorry.
Maybe they'll be extended, but it'll be done tomorrow. Most likely, if they have not done today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You visited branch twice, then the Dr. Anupama, the best thing would be that you actually make a complaint at a higher level, and if those also don't respond, the banking ombudsman is always there. We get a correcting ad from KL Rahul, Ishan Kishan, Umesh Yadav, and Shahbaz Nadeem. Those 4 guys are that cricket ad. तूने 5 ओवर में डबल सेंचुरी मारी है, मेरे अकाउंट में कुछ झोल लोचा हुआ है, so वो मेरे को googly फेंक रहा है. That ad, that banking ombudsman, he is explained. So that is the last level, and 30 days the time is there. So you can complain to them officially if you have exhausted all the levels of complaint before that. So there are usually 4 levels. The banking ombudsman is at the 4th level. So you can make a complaint actually. So no, don't worry, the problem should be solved. But I'm really curious to know what the reason your new branch gives for not updating your mobile number. I'm really curious to know if you can tell me. Okay. Anyways, let's wind it up for the day. It's almost 9, exactly 1.5 hour. So 1 hour of session and 30 minutes of query is the perfect end. So thank you so much. Have a happy new year. And Dr. Anupam, you can send me the message in my personal chat on WhatsApp. I can guide you whatever you can do best. Thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure giving you out these 20 sessions after August 5th. Thank you. Thank you.